have heard the proposition. And who else to end the matter for the opposition than Akash Banerjee? Akash, podium for you.
Mr. Chair, you talked about Arnab Goswami coming in next time, and that being the matter of debate the next time. I honestly think that you don't need that. I think Rajdeep filled up that portion very well. You could feel that Arnab energy. No, justice system is broken. So ladies and gentlemen, can I just say that taking that pitch down a second, that was not the topic of the debate. We are not talking about per se the justice system is broken. And I really think that Rajdeep has a reason why he was talking about so vehemently and vociferously about the justice system being broken, is because he chooses to deliberately, and much of the proposition chooses to deliberately ignore what the topic is asking us of. It just asks us, justice is often demanded. Not one speaker amongst the illustrious lineup here decided to prove to us that justice is often demanded. Yes, Umar Khalid's family is asking for justice, but that is not India asking for justice. Trust me, I see on YouTube what the algorithm says when I do an episode on Umar Khalid and when I do an episode on Big Boss. So let's just take it one pitch down and break the topic down for the one last time and understand if justice is often demanded, or is justice sometimes demanded and sometimes delivered. That is all that the topic is asking for. Rajdeep talks about the justice system being broken, as if this justice system is living in some sort of vacuum that is supposed to deliver justice irregardless of what society that we are living in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the product of our society. The judicial system, the politics, the media is the product of the society that we live in, and that is delivering the kind of pressure and the force that is implied on us. Why would Arnab get a bail and a Siddiqui Kappan is years in jail, and when Arnab comes out, he comes out as a hero, and Siddiqui Kappan slinks into obscurity? Why? You didn't want to celebrate him? He didn't come on top of a car doing namaste to everybody and welcomed as a hero? Guess what? It's we who are not demanding the justice or celebrating the rare cases where justice is even delivered. So can we just take it a notch down on the judicial system? Of course there is a problem with the judicial system, and we'll come to it. Because, again, as was pointed out, that it seems to be a judiciary bashing competition. So Abhishek Manu Singhvi comes in, 1/3 of the high court seats are vacant, 1/4 of the district courts are vacant, crores of cases are pending. So where is the outrage? Where is the pressure? Who is demanding that the justice system be set right? I don't hear any voices. Rajdeep has a problem with candlelight marches. Okay, let's not do candlelight marches, let's do petitions. Let's do media debates. I don't see that happening. But we can come here and say, oh, see, the courts are not delivering. But who's forced the courts not to deliver? We can deliver on a lot of topics. When the public pressurizes the political class, then a lot of delivery is happening. Vrinda Govra comes and talks about Gaza. People are celebrating the deaths that are taking place in Gaza. She's talking about the Bhopal gas tragedy. Guess what? 40 years the poisonous toxins were there. Where was the public pressure? Who was asking for the toxins to be removed? We are only talking about Union Carbide. Are theek hai bhai, Union Carbide got away. What did you do after that? What did you do for 40 years? Where was the pressure? So let's take it one notch down and understand where the problem really lies. And I'll do a small test, because I honestly believe that we need to swallow a little bit of a bitter pill and understand where the problem comes from. And the problem comes from the lack of public awareness, public pressure. Sustained public pressure will get everybody to act. Let's do a small test. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands, because this is a test you do with yourself. These are some of the topics that we covered on our YouTube channel, and when we were preparing, just looking at these topics. And I was wondering, why do we do these topics? What happens out of it? So, answer these questions to yourself. What happened to the Hindenburg allegations? What happened to the SBI chief? Do you remember the name of the SBI chief and why she was not investigated? What happened? SEBI chief. What happened to the IS officer who was exposed for coming out with fake certificates? And then this whole media expose started, a lot of it online, on how IS officers were getting in using the economic weaker section, the handicapped criteria. What happened to that whole story? What happened to Pooja Khedkar? What happened to the Agniveer story where the government is quietly changing the rules and regulations after there was an outrage? What happened to the NEET episode where we know for a fact that the most prestigious of examinations in this country were leaked? What happened? Did you care about? Or only the students who were appearing for NEET cared about it? What happened to the conditions of our cities? Are we questioning the government? Where did the smart cities go? Are we questioning what happened to the Pune Posha case? Are we questioning Prajwal Revanna? We are hearing about RG Kaur. We covered 4 episodes on that. But that's the problem. We are only worried about, in Kolkata, we are being worried about Kolkata. In South, we are worried about the South cases. How many cases are we rising up as a nation? And you know what? The political class has understood this. They know that within a month or 2 maximum, I can take this pressure. And that is why I think Manipur can continue to burn, because we don't care about Manipur, beyond Manipur and the Northeast. And that is why economic growth is not too much of a concern. I don't see any outrage over the fact that our economic growth is slipping. I don't see people questioning the lack of 8% growth, which is the minimum required. So there is obviously a problem in terms of us getting up and saying enough is enough, let's ask for accountability. And this debate, I'm sorry to say, is not a court-bashing debate. When we are talking about justice, let's not forget, Vrinda Grover came and talked about social, economic, political justice, but then she limited herself to the court cases. And therefore, please, I would like you to consider the other forms of justice that is being denied, and we are not working hard for it. I would like to talk about the fact that there is caste injustice that is happening, and we are all part and partaking in this injustice that continues to rise at this point of time. We are talking about gender injustice, where we are even less than Bangladesh in terms of having gender contributions and in the labor force participation. We are talking about economic justice. 1% is holding 40% of the wealth. Where is the outrage? Where is the anger? Where is asking the government is what is going on, why there is lack of an understanding of why the rich are getting richer and poor are getting poorer. The Places of Worship Act is something that is very, very worrying in terms of religious equality. The government could just go ahead and repeal Places of Worship Act at this point of time. There is no opposition that is going to be there. So let's understand that we also are responsible for what is happening. On the RG Kaur case, I'd like to bite the bullet and put this question in front of you. How many people think that in India, I'm not talking about Kolkata, that you had more outrage over what is happening in Bangladesh than what is happening with RG Kaur? Because I saw, at least on the social media, on a national scale, media scale, a much bigger outrage. How many people think that Sushant Singh Rajput, that case occupied a lot more mind space than what has happened in RG Kaur? How many people think that Babar and Aurangzeb today get a lot more mind space than RG Kaur? How many people think that Big Boss and who should be eliminated from the house of Big Boss gets more mind space than RG Kaur? So there have been cases, long-term protests, the farmer protest for once. But I think the act of asking a question, discrediting people who ask a question, has been the biggest event in the last few years. And because we have been trained that anybody who is asking a question, raising their voice, and I'm not talking about Kolkata, because it's definitely happening in the rest of the country, is anti-national, is anti-social, is a Soros-funded agent. And unless and until we get over this and get back to accountability, putting those questions back to the government, justice will not be delivered. But we have to put the pressure to get that justice delivered. Thank you.